I'm Amber Davis, and this is your 5-minute call. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hello, welcome back to another episode of your 5-minute call with me, Amber Davis. Now, this is very unique as we are doing a part 2 to this fabulous guest.
Hello, I'm back.
Mr. Ben Joyce. The reason we've had to do a part 2 is because we had such a huge volume of questions come in for us.
Yeah.
We couldn't fit it in one episode, so we are just going to go straight in to the questions that you guys asked us. If you would like to know more about Ben's career so far, that is in last week's episode. Mm-hmm. So let's get straight to it.
Straight back in, let's go.
This is like more about us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why we've had to do 2 parts, right?
Would you like to work together again?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Great. Next question.
Do you think I definitely think
It would be different this time.
it would be different because we'd be going into the contract as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think we could make that
I think
work?
it would. I would like to. I mean, we will probably work together again at some point.
Yeah.
We might do like a concert or
Yeah, I'd love that.
or something. Yeah, maybe a concert. That'll
Maybe
be
a one-night
That'll be
thing.
enough. Maybe not anything after 12 weeks. How's about that? No. I think it would just be a very different vibe. And do you know what's really nice? That we get to kind of go and do our own thing and then come back together and talk to each other about our days, about doing different things.
Yeah. We have a lot more to talk about now that we're in 2 separate contracts.
Yeah, but I definitely wouldn't put a no.
No,
on
I
work
wouldn't put a
together.
no, but I think you'd do my head in. Maybe.
Great. Vice versa.
I would. He'd want to kill me, I think, if we worked together again. Ben, how do you feel about Amber being away?
Do you know what? There's been ups and downs of it. The ups of it would have to be like, it's quite nice to kind of reconnect after being away from each other, or looking forward to seeing you, or
being on your Xbox whenever you want to be.
Yeah, PlayStation, but yes.
Sorry.
No, but I think it's been good at times. It's been hard at times. Obviously, you being away and kind of like living on my own.
It's the first time you've lived by yourself.
Yeah,
pretty
I've got the
much.
dog, which is quite nice.
Yeah, but we live in the same house, but obviously I'm away on tour doing Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot easier for me to go away because, I'm doing 8 shows a week. I'm traveling, where Ben's kind of sitting in the same house and you're missing a presence.
Yeah. I mean, the difference, and I really enjoyed you being on tour because I've been able to come and visit you in like these amazing places like Bristol, Edinburgh, and I've not done a UK tour, so it's been quite nice to kind of have a taste of what tour life is like. That is quite exciting for you to go and see all these places, and yeah, it is different being in one place for a year. It can become
monotonous.
Yeah, Groundhog Day, kind of wake up in the same house
Do
without
the same
you there,
commute.
go do all the washing, and then doing chores in the house.
You have to be a lot more responsible, where I'm just like in and out of Airbnbs, digs, like I'm up and I'm out, where you have to like run a house basically. So
but like
it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
You're doing really well. And, I'm only gone now till September. It's flown. I've done half of the year,
Yeah, and like I said in the first episode, this could be the other way around at some point. So we kind of
100%
you've just got to like live the way that life is being given to us in this moment. Do you know what I mean?
And it's all temporary, Jobs last, 18 months max? So it will always, our only constant will be change.
So in a nutshell, it's been hard at times, but really quite nice to see you tour, really.
Yeah, and you've experienced it with me.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the other person kissing other actors?
You know what? Fine. Really fine.
You love it.
Well, I'll come in first here. Obviously, I've seen Amber kissing people on stage since the moment I met her. When we were in the show together, she would be kissing my good friend Oliver Nicholas. I was going to say Ollie Saville then, but that's another Ollie that she gets to neck on with. So I've seen, and as an actor, like I have to do it. I have to kiss Sophie in the show. I have to kiss Sarah now.
And I watched that.
My gosh, It's so, and when I came to see Pretty Woman for the first time, I was like, oh gosh, I need to watch her kissing and
there's some raunchy parts
there's some scenes in the show. And so I was a bit nervous, but it was so fine because I think creatively, like I'm so used to just seeing actors do this. And at the end of the day, that's what you are. You are my girlfriend, yeah, but this is your job and your career. So I don't mind it at all.
And I just think it's what we're trained to do, it's what we used to. So
Yep.
That's what I feel like is really easy about being in a relationship with someone in the industry, because they get moments like that and they get things like that. Where like if you were with like a muggle, as we'd like to call them, those people that work 9 to 5 or office jobs, they would probably like have their backs up a little bit
or
about
just
it.
didn't understand it quite as clearly as we do, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, in a nutshell, no, I don't have a problem with it at all.
No, I don't. It doesn't even like cross my mind. Even when I go to see Back to the Future quite a lot, because I used to work there, so I know the company, and I don't even register like you kissing.
Yeah, it's just part of the gig now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, it's just a peck.
It's not like full on tongue.
Well, as where she is, in Pretty Woman. Well, you'll see if you see it.
Yeah, it's quite.
But it's and I have such a great relationship with Ollie Savile, who plays
yeah.
Edward.
And I think that's really good as well. Really important is I made sure Ben was really part of my cast. Mm-hmm. You came into rehearsals one day, didn't you? When I was in Pretty Woman the musical rehearsals.
People.
And I think I wanted to, even though I didn't have to and he didn't ask me to, I wanted him to feel really secure and that everybody in the cast knew him, and he can build that relationship with them, because I know half of the Back to the Future cast. And I think that's very important, is saying, yes, I'm working here. This is my boyfriend. And we all have to spend time with each other, It kind of like puts your mind at rest, even though you don't need
you know
it
these
to.
people, it's
easier.
Yeah, it's easy.
Next question. What's our favourite joint memory of being in Back to the Future together?
There are so many. I think we just laughed quite a lot. Like, especially towards when we first started working on the show together, it was very exciting for both of us because obviously we were, flirting and things like that. But also we were living and doing a job that was so exciting. So exciting. And it was it was your first thing after COVID and since Bring It On, which closed, right?
Yeah.
During COVID, which was awful for you at the time. This was really exciting for you, really exciting for me. And so we just laughed so much. With Ollie, with Harry, who was in the cast, Jordan, who played Goldie. We just had that's all I remember, is that we just had such an amazing time and we just laughed the whole time.
Yeah. And like the moments, like for us, obviously when we were in a relationship, if say I'd like fluff a line or he would, like we could actually like communicate with our eyes and it would just be like 10 times funnier,
But I guess like...
Well, that time you fell off the stage.
Oh gosh, I always tell this story.
There's a stage on a stage.
Yeah. There's like a bandstand in the scene just before, the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. There's a band on, the Starlighters, and then Marty plays the guitar and during the song he jumps off the stage and I'd just got my foot caught on a little shell. But
luckily, I was in the wing at the time and I didn't see it, thank God, because my heart...
Yeah. So I'd basically kind of caught my foot. I jump off it, but because I'd caught my foot in midair, my foot then went behind me and my body did like a front somersault. I landed on my head.
Whilst holding a guitar.
Yes. And fun fact, Matt Lucas was in that show watching.
He was watching, wasn't he?
And and he said something on Twitter and I was just saying about how like the show was great and whatever. And I was like, he obviously missed the part where I landed on my head and broke some of the guitar, the really expensive guitar.
But like those moments, I'm glad I didn't see, because I think I actually would have had a heart attack.
Or like there was like times where like your mic belt fell off and he was like going down.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Your leg or something.
I had to hold my mic belt.
Just like funny moments like that. That's all I remember, really. Do you remember anything big?
The fluff in the lines was always great.
Yeah, I mean that happens to everyone.
But
that's always funny, even if it's not
when
with
your boyfriend's doing it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because you just laugh at me like, you fool.
Oh, how would you feel about either me or you doing an international tour?
International tour?
I think that would be harder than the UK.
Oh, God, yeah, well, of course, because the good thing about touring the UK is like you're only a couple of hours away.
Yeah, but say I'm like, for example, my next location is Leeds, I can drive home.
Yeah, exactly. So the international tour would be a lot harder, but I don't think it would affect our relationship. No. And I also think whoever would do it, like that is so exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'd want either of us to experience the world as much as possible.
And as well, it gives the other person an excuse to catch a flight.
Yeah, I'm going to I don't know.
Germany.
I'm going to Italy or Germany to go and...
Actually, in the same breath of saying that, I don't know if we'd work together again. I would love to do an international tour with you.
Yeah. You're just manifesting things into the universe, aren't you? If anyone's listening. Yeah, I would. And you too, you've done a UK tour now, and you did a bit of a UK tour for 9 to 5 as well.
Yeah, and Bring It On.
And Bring It On, yeah. I just think we're at an age where we can go and experience these things. Like, we are still quite young, so
yeah.
I would never say, oh, I'm not going to go and do that because, or I wouldn't say, I don't think you should do that because, you're going to be away from me. Like, when will you ever get the chance to go and do that again?
I think we're very much the same as like, go for it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'd never hold Ben back, and I know Ben wouldn't hold me back.
Mm-hmm.
We're each other's number one fans.
Yep.
And I think that's really important.
Yep.
On that same breath,
Mm-hmm.
someone has said, has the industry ever come between you? I can think of one moment, if I'm going to be honest.
What was that?
It was me. Basically, before Ben, I'd never dated anybody in this industry. And I'm very much like a go-getter. I can be quite ruthless with like getting what I want. If I want to get into the room, like, I'll do everything I can to get in the room. And basically, we were on the way to work, and Ben had got a call from his agent saying, oh, you've booked this workshop. It was an amazing workshop.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't give him a second to celebrate. I got my phone out straight away, and I said to my agent, this workshop's happening, please can you get me in for one of the roles? And then we had a bit of a tiff there, didn't we? Because selfishly, I didn't think about him at all. I was just like in my ruthless state of mind. And that was a big moment for me, because I thought, wow, actually, no, I'm in a relationship with someone in this industry, and this isn't just all about me anymore. I have to, but it's never happened again. And I really pulled myself together, and I apologize, because you said, that wasn't right.
Well, firstly, I really like that you've talked about that. It's really, really sweet that you've
brought that up.
Yeah.
Taking accountability.
I think just kind of, that's where, and I would, I very much could have done exactly the same thing in that moment of like, oh, there's an opportunity going and I want to be in that. But yeah, I think that we had like just a little kind of moment of like, well, I've just got this gig and you've
taken that moment away from you.
But I mean, it wasn't that, like, that didn't get between us, because it didn't
get between us. And maybe in some way I'm glad it happened, because it made it was like, that's wrong. And I had to change my mindset. You can have your own thing and I can have my own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it was meant to happen, because I learned quite quickly that, I have to be really mindful.
Yeah. And like vice versa, like I have to kind of remember that you're, for example, I mean, this is not connected really, I guess, but if I'm having a rubbish day on stage or whatever, or I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, I've got no voice because I'm just, and then I forget, well, you're doing 8 shows a week as well sometimes, and I'm just there kind of in your ear, ranting about how, exhausted I am, and then I forget sometimes, like, oh gosh, I'm sorry, how was your show and how was your day?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's always just learning, isn't it? And learning how to
navigate. Yeah.
So yeah.
But I think situations like that are really good, because you learn quite quickly.
Yeah. And if we're ever in that position again, then, we've been there and we can
navigate it. Yeah. Now it's time for a quick interval. Go and powder your noses, and we'll see you in 2. Was it hard playing mother and son?
No, I don't think so.
Did you fancy me?
Did I fancy you? What do you mean?
Like, did you fancy me when I was your mum?
Oh, when you were in like the mum get up with like the fat suit and the wrinkles and all that.
Yeah.
No, not really. But like, if we ever do get to that point of that age, I'm sure I will, But no, not as Ben Joyce. I didn't look at her and think, that's for me.
Like we said, we met as Lorraine and Marty. We didn't meet like, we're in a relationship and now we're playing these roles. So those roles very much came first before our personal life. Yeah. So it was literally just like, it felt just so normal for us.
Well, it was, just like playing. Yeah, it was an actor with another actor in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Not to get.
Yeah, actor just reacting.
Just trying to work with you and. Yeah.
Amber, how do you feel about being older than Ben? What a savage question. I'm going to block the person that sent that.
Yes, very good. How do you feel about being older than me? Hey?
I've never dated anyone younger than me.
Yeah.
I don't actually feel like there is a huge age gap between us.
Other than the actual ages of us, there is actually no age gap. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
It's nothing really.
Actually, we did take a selfie the other day and I was like, I feel like I look like your mum. I basically had a spray tan and my skin just looked haggard. And I remember...
And I was probably wearing a Star Wars t-shirt or something.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
And I was like, oh my God, I look like your mum. But I'm very much like I said before, I'm career orientated. So like the babies and the wedding stuff is very much like far future for me, which is perfect because like it's very far future for you, you know. But
for now, yeah.
we're just on the same wavelength, and I feel like age is just a number. But he's a very mature old soul, so I don't feel like I'm babysitting.
I am an old soul. I am. I literally am.
And if one of us is more responsible, it's probably you.
We have our moments for sure. Yeah, we both have our strengths.
Okay, Ben, this one's more for you.
Okay.
What role did you prefer to play, Frankie Valli or Marty McFly?
It's very hard because they're very different roles. And I've had two very different experiences. Frankie Valli was, I guess, kind of a bit of is it a splash in the pan? Is that what they say?
When? Before Christ?
Well, it was kind of a year. I only played Frankie for a year. So like, I kind of, thinking back to it, I was only there for a small moment. So,
but a year contract is long.
Yeah. But I mean, now I've done 2. I'm like, wow, a year really is not long.
No.
So 2 very different experiences. I have to say, Frankie was kind of like a box tick for me of like one of my dream roles. So I'm so glad I did that, and so glad I met all those people. I think Marty McFly has pushed me a bit more. I kind of using different parts of my voice to how I was using Frankie, obviously with all the falsetto and stuff. Very little bit of dancing in the show.
Dancing,
and then I guess just like my acting with Marty has kind of changed over time. I hope I've kind of learnt a lot more about acting since doing Marty McFly.
I think you've come on like leaps and bounds, like because I obviously left and then went away to work, and then I saw you perform and I thought, oh my gosh, like you've really grown.
I think you just like after 2 years, it's such a long time. You will, where you started to where you finish is going to be just like so different. So I think if I would pick one, I would probably say Marty has taught me more, whereas playing Frankie kind of set me up for the industry.
Yeah,
you know,
I love that. Okay, when you get a night off together, what does that typically look like?
We don't. No, we do sometimes, obviously, especially when we were in the show together. Our kind of schedules lined up.
Yeah. We will fit a date night in if we can.
Oh my God.
That will, majority of the time, it will be the cinema.
Yeah, we like to go to...
Everyman.
Yeah, and like, pig out, get a nice film.
Yeah.
I guess we just kind of... Even just like a film night in the house.
Oh, my favourite thing to do with Ben, if we have an evening that we can fit in, would be a Chinese or an Indian and a film. And that's all we need, really,
yeah,
isn't
a little takeaway and a film. Sometimes fish and chips as well.
Love a fish and chips. We're foodies. Ben's an amazing cook.
Thank you.
You really
I do
are.
love to cook. I love it.
He's amazing.
I've got the dual Ninja air fryer.
Yeah, which he loves more than me. But
Incorrect.
He is like top chef. And in the whole 2 years we've been together, the only thing I've ever made you is a bagel.
What did you put in it?
I did a buttered bagel for you.
Oh yeah, because I was ill. Once. Oh yeah, I had awful bug, didn't I?
But I do all your washing.
Yeah. When you're there,
time.
When you're there, well, who does the washing when you're not there? I think that might be the washing fairy.
Yeah. No, but you've been amazing whilst I've been on tour, because I've been like quick turnarounds and you've really like helped me out.
Yeah. What was the question? Well, hopefully we answered it.
What's
night off. Film night. Film
night with a takeaway.
I love films. Like we're both really quite into movies.
The thing is with us both, which is sometimes a bit dangerous, is we're both night owls. So we can be bad influences on each other when it comes to like watching a series in bed, because he will look at each other and be like, oh, should we just do one more?
Yeah.
And then it'll be like 4 o'clock in the morning. And
oh gosh, I can't last that long. I'm sleeping first. I'm always falling asleep first.
Yeah, he's the sleeper. But then you're always first up in the morning and you leave me in bed.
Yeah, making the coffee.
Oh my gosh, this question is so savage.
Oh, really?
What annoys you about Amber the most, Ben?
Right, gosh, where do
And then I will answer
where
the
do I
same
start?
question.
Where do I start here? No, obviously, being in a relationship, there are going to be things that annoy you. I know plenty
Naturally.
of things that I do that annoys you. I could probably write a whole book on it.
One thing, just one.
I know, you don't like when I eat very loud.
No, babes.
Is it the other way around?
Yeah, so
Wait.
what do I do that annoys you?
What do you do that annoys me? Sometimes, but this is only because you're such a busy bee and a busy body, and you're organizing things. And when I'm trying to speak to you, when you're on your phone, and you're quite good at multitasking, but you can't answer me until you've like finished that text. But my like when I was younger, my mother would be the same. Like she can't text and talk, and I'm like, Amber, hello.
I just feel like if I'm organising something and I'm on a roll, like let me just complete that task.
I know, but it'll be something like I've got an oven glove on and I'm holding a hot, like, I don't know, whatever I've just made it. I'm like, oh, Amber, do you want, okay, it's only because, my fingers are burning now, but if you could just, that's what it is. It's in situations like that. No, but I mean, that's not a thing, but like silly things like that, you know?
If I'm doing a task, I'm doing something like I need to just do it.
That's it. Or you'd be like, you'd be like, if you're doing something and it's not quite happening quick enough or good enough, you'd be like, Ben, just could you just, and then you're not saying any words, so I don't understand what you want me to do or what's happening here. It's like, why can't you just read my mind and do what you want?
Yeah, that is it.
It's not,
I just need
it's
him
not
to
annoying.
like,
It's
read
quite.
my mind.
It's so funny because it's funny when we look back on it. That is it.
I am very much like, if I ask Ben to do something, like I need him to do it immediately, not like wait a little while and do it in a minute.
I'll do it now in a minute. That's what I'll say.
He says, yeah, I'll do it now. I'll do it in a minute.
Do it now in a minute.
Yeah, I'll do it now in a minute. No, like now, this very second, I need you to do it for me.
So that's it.
And I'm going to do reverse because they didn't actually ask me.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to know what annoyed me. What annoyed you about me.
Yeah. Okay.
You are like quite spot on, to be honest. I know one thing is like when the toilet rolls come to an end, you won't put the cardboard bit in the bin and replace it. You will just leave the cardboard thing there, and then you'll start another roll.
What? And I'll leave the cardboard roll like just there on the side.
Yeah, so you won't replace it.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you do that.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I guess I'm just sat there, aren't I? Not to get too many details here. You know, I'm sat there at the time. I can't be leaving the station.
Okay, what was your first impressions of each other? Okay, let's do 3 words.
Okay.
What was your first impression of me?
Well, I would say your humour. You just had a positive outlook on life. Like, you just positive vibes, do you know what I mean? And...
Don't say what you're going to say.
Ben, just do it. But you just had this beautiful aura of, here I am, this is me.
Aww,
you know?
I love you.
So I guess, like, just like authentic, I guess. I don't know.
Aww, I love that. About you, I love you. I would say my first impressions was kind.
Okay.
The kindest person, just so sweet. You have like a comforting aura. And I tell you who picks up on that is the dog, Oreo. He will cuddle with Ben for hours. And I think it's because Ben has like a calm heart,
That's nice.
calm mind, where I'm just like constantly erratic. And like your talent for me, flipping Nora, when you started like shuffleboard changing.
Oh, really?
And singing.
Shuffleboard change in Back to the Future.
When he started singing, I did think like, wow. I think I'm attracted to talent, and I only realised that like when I met you.
As a performer, you kind of always are, because you know how hard that is, you know?
Yeah. And actually, one more thing, a big factor was that he was Welsh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a big tick, you know? What's the pros to working in the same industry? Same time, we have the same hours of work.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
I think we kind of touched on it earlier on. We kind of just understand what it takes, and we understand the things that you kind of, I guess, sacrifices that you might have to make, or
you both have to make them.
Yeah, the positives are that you kind of just from the start really understand it.
You do. It's a lot easier to navigate, I would say.
Yeah.
And like, for example, because obviously I'm on tour and Ben's in town, I always know that Ben's going to be getting ready at the half-hour call the same time as me.
Yeah.
So I know if I call him and we check in at that time, we are on the same schedule.
Yeah. We're doing a different show, but we're still doing the same job. So yeah, that's the positives, I'd say.
On the same breath, it says, what are the negatives? I guess, like, we haven't experienced the pressure yet of being out of work.
Yeah, I guess so. And I think coming to the end of a contract, say if we didn't have anything lined up, if one of us was, steady in a job and the other one was coming to the end of a job and didn't have anything to, I think if we were ever in that position, like...
being mindful of your energy, I
or
think.
just like, I imagine that might be a bit hard. So, but again, like, we are in the same job, so we understand... there's going to be points like that. There might be a point where both of us are like, oh, well, what's next for us? Or
yeah, I think it's about like being each other's support system when we really need it, like especially in a job, but also out of a job.
Yeah.
And I think we do have a lot of lessons to learn as a couple because we haven't actually been through those moments yet. So we will touch base on them when those situations happen, because they will happen. I'll be out of work, Ben will be out of work. Then, like, in the far future, hoping that we're still together, which we probably will be, like when to have children or when to get married or when to not prioritize a career and actually maybe like go traveling. Like we still have so many things to do, but that's also really exciting.
Yeah, it's things to kind of look forward to along the way and still work out. So because we are still early, we've only done a job together and 1 year where we haven't done a job together. So there's still plenty of things to...
Yeah, we're still very much in like the early stages,
Yeah.
But like it definitely works, actor v actor.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, pros and cons to both.
And there's pros and cons to being with somebody that isn't in the industry as well, I think what we find really easy is that we know exactly what the other one's talking about. We're always on the same wavelength. Okay, this is the last question now, and it's just a funny one.
Okay.
And it's for each of us to just say a random fact about ourselves.
Oh, gosh.
Or why don't I say one about you and you say one about me? Because I've definitely got one about Ben before I've even got one about my own.
Gosh. Go on then.
He used to play basketball for Wales.
Well, yeah.
That's what you told me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in a relationship with you.
No, I used to play basketball. I used to do lots of sports when I was a kid. I played basketball for a team in Swansea called Swansea Storm. And
but just to put things into perspective, Ben's like 5'6".
Well, come on now, give me a couple more.
So that's why it's a very like fun
5'9".
Are you 5'9"?
5'9", yeah, not 5'6". Lordy, aren't you like 5'6"?
I'm 5'2".
5'2". Yeah, no, but I am little for a basketball player, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
And I got scouted by like the Welsh team, I guess, and I went to like a few training sessions, and it was like about a 4-hour drive to go to them. So I was like, I ain't driving 4 hours anymore, so I quit. But I also quit because I wanted to do theatre instead. So
but like that is such a cool fun fact.
Yeah, I used to play football.
You do
used to play the drums when I was a kid.
Yes, you did.
It's on YouTube somewhere. Don't go looking for that. You won't find it anyway. It's like...
There we go. Ben Joyce fan page is going to be Team Ben Joyce, who is a very loyal fan page to Ben. Will be finding that on YouTube, I can imagine.
And I've got to find one for you.
Cool fun fact about me.
Oh, I guess people might know this, but Amber, when she was a lot younger, would compete in a competition called the Eisteddfod, which is a Welsh language competition where you do loads of things, wouldn't you? You'd be like, you could compete in singing or musical theatre singing, poetry, dancing. You were into it a lot more than I was because you spoke Welsh.
Yeah.
I didn't as a kid. So...
And I went throughout Wales.
Yeah.
When I was like... I think I was about 5 years old.
Yeah. And I've seen a couple of videos of those as well.
Have you? So there are 2 fun facts, and that is the end of our episode. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I've really loved it.
The listeners were dying for it.
It's
and
nice
you've
to
had
see
2 eps.
what you do and be
yeah,
in the room.
now when I say, oh, I'm going to record, now you know what I'm doing.
It's very cool.
But thank you for coming
And you're very good at it.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.